Hey guys, so I've been out hiking with my family and now we're running some errands around town. My husband's got to put up some notices at the school so that teachers know what to do when they come up to clean out their classrooms. So I thought I would kill two birds with one stone and I'd make my class video for tomorrow while he is making those postings at the schools. So for today's assignment, what I had wanted you to do was to explode a moment. And the way that you explode a moment about a place is you think about a place and you think about an experience that you had in that place. And then you transport yourself back there in time. And then you start to narrate the things that you see and the things that you smell and the things that you taste and hear and touch as you're walking your way through that place. A lot the same way that Miranda Lambert did in The House That Built Me. So here's what happened this morning when I tried that. I thought I probably better write them an example. And so I got my laptop out and I got my cup of coffee and I sat there, and it was early this morning, and I started exploding a moment about a place. And then the longer I wrote, the more it took shape into an actual narrative, into an actual story with a point, and it grew from just being a solitary explosion of that place in time, and it turned into something more. And so what I want to tell you is that sometimes when you write, that's exactly what happens. You don't know what you're doing when you start, but you go ahead and start because you think all I've got to do is explode this moment. And then as you progress, what you discover is that you've written something that actually tells a story. And frequently you don't know where you're going when you start, but you realize where you are when you get there. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I've got it with me, I'm going to read it out loud to you, but I'm also going to post it as an attachment so that you can read it to yourself. This is an example of a place narrative, of a way that a place takes shape and then begins to tell a story. So here we go. It says, I pulled in to the empty parking lot, steering around the ag building and between the portables to park right by the sidewalk. A steady drizzle seeped from the sky as if nature, too, mourned the desolation. I pulled my mask onto my face, looping the ear elastic twice so that it wouldn't slip, grabbed my school keys and bleach wipes, and hopped out of the car. I ducked my face against the droplets and teacher jogged up to the covered awning, trying to avoid rain-splattered glasses. I stuck the big building key into the lock and twisted, careful to touch only the key. Then I stuck my right foot out, dancing some bizarre version of the hokey pokey, caught the door, and removed the key, never once touching the door with my hand. I twisted through the doorway to see 100 yards of dark and empty hallway stretching ahead of me. The building smelled of fresh disinfectant, and all the evidence that school had been in session this year had been wiped clean. The hundreds of brightly colored cardstock books that recorded the reading history of my students, gone. The constellations of rock stars that celebrated successes big and small had disappeared from the industrial gray sky of lockers where they once sparkled happily. I walked ahead through the vacuum of what had been and keyed into my classroom again, not touching the door. My analytical brain took over, and I began working through my mental checklist. Book for Cassidy? Check. Book and sequel for Amy? Check. Pick up work from Teacher Box? Check. Download pictures of seniors onto flash drive? Check. Once the errands that I came for had been completed, I took a 360-degree panoramic mind photo of my classroom. On the wall behind my desk, a full moon hung on a hook. Shiloh must have made it for a project in another teacher's class. It still hangs there, waiting. On my desk, amidst trash cans and boxes that have been placed there by someone who is not me, sits a piece of artwork that was thematically inspired by To Kill a Mockingbird and gifted to me by Alyssa. I was able to laminate it before, but it's yet to take its rightful place in my classroom wall, my carefully curated gallery of student art. All of my desks and most of my classroom furniture and storage have been pushed to one side of the room, as if the world tilted and the only thing to do was to slide along with the momentum and hang on at the edges. Then I saw it. A box. It was not mine. My classroom is my place. I know everything that comes in and out. I arrange things with a purpose in mind. I add things that will add to the environment, to the vibe, to the experience, and I did not add this box. I walk up to the box. It's sitting in a pile of other classroom materials on top of some desks. I fold back the cardboard flaps to find all of those brightly colored cardstock books and the entire constellation of rock stars smiling at me. The tape had been carefully removed from the back of each one. They were rescued and stored, safe and sound, and now they too are waiting. Immediately, I know. It was my friend, Ida. She is the custodian who cleans my room every afternoon. She's the witness to my harried end-of-day demeanor, my transition from teacher mom to mothering my own children when they arrive in the afternoon, the weeknight Subway family dinners that we eat around a dining table of student desks before we rush off to an activity. She asks about my day, and in my broken Spanish, I'll tell her about it. We've talked about our families and our values. We've talked about life and about death. And somehow, even with my completely terrible Spanish, we managed to end up on the same page. So I know it was her who saved the rock stars and the books because she's asked me about them before. Who gets these books? Why do they get a star? What do they have to do? And then we talked about the power of positive recognition and acknowledgement of appreciation, even if it comes in the form of something simple, like a piece of paper mounted to a locker. And she blessed that idea and called it good. When school is open, Ida watches the interactions between teachers and students and greets them in English and in Spanish. She maintains a healthy environment, bleaching the bathrooms and telling us, "Cuidado," after she mops the floors. Echoes of Cuban melodies infuse the after-hours vibe as she sings her way through her shift. Ida believes that it's all of us together who make the school experience work for the students, and that each of us has a critical role to play in adding to their experience and to their success. This is her place too. So once the school building was shuttered to students and Ida was tasked with sanitization, she did what she always does: cleansed the physical building, protected the souvenirs of our students' success, and filled the halls with positive energy so that when our kids come back, school will be ready. All right, guys, that's all I've got for today. I want you guys to work on exploding a moment of your own that occurs in a place, and then turn that in this assignment portal, and I look forward to reading what you write. All right, have a great day.